It's another max youth rating, it's another versus, and it's one you've all been clamouring for. We're off to the Americas. It's USA, Mexico, and Canada in a triple threat match of sorts. Max youth rating, as usual. That's all there is to say. Let's get into it. Shambles of an intro, as always. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, that's as good as it ever gets. I don't know what I'm doing going to the shortlist. I'm all over the shop. Let's go to Inter Miami, first of all, and we can have a look at the United States of America, where we see max youth rating 200 out of 200 for the generated players. And we've got max facilities. If I just go all the way down, a load of teams in America. There you go. The Mexican First Division then. Here we go. America. Oh, confusing. Well, of course, max facilities across Mexico as well. And if we go to the generated players, it's 200 out of 200 once again, which just leaves Canada. Atletico Ottawa. There you go. Halifax Wanderers. And there we go. Max youth rating across there. And if we go to Canada, edit nation detail, generated players 200 out of 200. As usual, we've got a scoring system in effect. But of course, when we're in Europe, we have the Euros, we have the Champions League, and we have the Conference League and Europa League. But today, we don't have a lot of those things at our disposal. So now when it comes to the scoring system, usually in Europe, we have quite a few teams, quite a few competitions, to look in on. So from a domestic level, really, the Leagues Cup, it's a new sort of iteration. It's only 4 teams, I think, go into it. And it's literally from Mexico, USA, and Canada. So it's going to be won by one of these teams every single season. So I'm going to leave that. We've got the Champions League, the North American Champions Cup, which, again, is pretty much won by these teams. But you've got to have some domestic trophy in there. So, yeah, only these teams are winning it. So, really, I've got to go through, and I'm probably going to have... We're going to have 200 wins, I would have thought, all the way through this. So, it's going to be very difficult to maintain, especially a scoreboard. So, there'll be no scoreboard for the Champions League until the end. I'm just going to count up and go through it. And we'll just rock and roll and see how we go. So, but that's going to be worth 4 points, as always is. The Champions League is worth 4 points. Now, what we did with Asia, with Japan versus South Korea, which was a nice little touch, I felt, and you guys seem to like it too, was going at Ballon d'Ors for 2 points apiece. Now, Ballon d'Ors are very individual to the player, but these players will probably move from the American sort of leagues, and they'll probably go off into Europe. So they've got big points are available. Big points are available for Ballon d'Or wins, which is why I've decided to include it. As you can see there, Lionel Messi at Inter Miami, no points for him at this juncture. 3 points, of course, for the Copa America, which, as you can see here, Mexico a runner-up there. Canada, nowhere to be seen. Neither the USA. But they are all in it. They are all in it. As you can see there, USA hosted it in 2016. So the Copa America will be worth 3 points. And, of course, the piece de resistance, the big one, the granddaddy of them all. It's got very wrestling commentary, this one, hasn't it? Since I've said triple threat match at the start and just alluded to a title, I've genuinely turned on the wrestling. I've genuinely just turned on the wrestling terminology. Anyway, 5 points. 5. You can't see me. It is only appropriate, though, isn't it, to be fair, considering I have got John Cena here. Hey, I know. The joke as old as time. It never gets any better if you're new around here. If you're not, got to expect that kind of rubbish. 5 points for the World Cup. Right, this is taking a long time. Let's go 50 years in the future, as always, and see how we're getting on at that juncture. So here we go. In terms of current ability, the best player in the world is Petr Bocek, a weirdly left-sided midfielder who can also play defensive midfielder. At 23 years old, he's at 198, and he cost Arsenal £20.5 million. What a player. He genuinely is phenomenal. And the first player for one of our nations, as you can see, is Luigi Vences, a PSG forward, signed for £15.75 million from Al Dahale, who paid £8.25 million for him. He is Mexican, 26 years old, 50 and 75 for the national team. He's a Ballon d'Or candidate, if I've ever seen one. And as we go down the list, I'm looking now for United States. Here we go. David Allison, also at PSG. He's a central midfielder with a lovely mohawk, the most common haircut in Football Manager for regens. He's a central midfielder for PSG with a slightly unkempt mohawk. He's probably seen better days, and he needs the side shaving. So come on, Dave. You're on £235,000 a week. Sort your hair out. Signed for $17 million from Tijuana. So he's actually moved to Mexico from Real Salt Lake Academy for free. He went to Mexico to play his trade. Now, Darius Drozdovic, second nationality of Canadian, decided to be Polish. We've got more Mexicans down here. We've got a Canadian who's also second nationality American. It's Michel Borelli. He's at Chelsea. He's a 176. So it doesn't bode well for Canada at this early juncture. But there we go. That's the shortlist out of the way. Where are we going to go first? Are we going to go Champions League? Or should we go international? Should we mix it up? Let's go Copa America. I'm feeling risky. Yeah. Keep you all on your toes. Copa America. Here we go. I forgot to put notes on. Now, for those long-time viewers who have actually been here before when I've mentioned the scoring system, most of you will be going, Jay, you forgot to mention the bonus points. You forgot to mention the bonus point for beating a fellow team in the final or the opposition. That's because there's no bonus points today. Based on the fact that the Champions League is going to be full of all those wins plus bonus points, I felt it'd be far too hard to keep track of, and I know I would inevitably fuck it up. So, no bonus points today. It is win or nothing. End of story. So, the reason I'm bringing that up now is because I forgot to mention it before, is because there should be a bonus point here for Mexico as they beat the United States of America in 2040. They actually came second in runner-up in 2028 with Canada third. So lots of third places for our teams here, or nations, should I say. But as you can see, the 4 wins for Mexico. It's 4-0, and we're going to roll straight into World Cups. And it's 1-0 to Mexico. So Mexico take an early lead here. They do take an early lead. A resounding early lead as well. They've got the best players. If they whitewash these Champions Leagues, we might have to separate it domestically to internationally. But even still, USA and Canada are doing nothing. I think they might come back, hopefully. Let's go look at the Champions League before we have a quick scoot into the Ballon d'Ors then. Of course, here we go. We're going all the way down now. And as you can see, there's so many teams here. So straight off, America, it's Mexico. Tigres is Mexico. Monterrey is Mexico. It is Mexico again. Tigres, America. Even though it says America, they are Mexican. Lucha, they sound Mexican. Yeah. Tigres, Monterrey. Santos Laguna sounds Mexican. Yeah, once again, it's Mexican. Atalanta United States. So the first time someone who's not Mexican's won is 2041. That's like 16 to Mexico. It was an all-American final beating Inter Miami. Bonus point. I mean, the amount of bonus points Mexico would have here. LA Galaxy getting another. Okay, so we're starting to move. I'm just going to scroll up now, and I'm going to come back and let you know when someone who isn't Mexican has won it. That's Mexican again. So, okay. So here in the 28th of Feb, 2073. So the final's not happened for 2073 yet. It's 47 to Mexico, 2 for United States, none for Canada. So I feel like the Champions Leagues are beyond the other nations, really, already after 50 years. We've got over 200 years. We're not going to dilly-dally on the Champions Leagues too much. I think that might have to just be chalked up to say, Mexico have done it. Let's just focus on internationally and Ballon d'Ors. Speaking of the Golden Ball then, let's go and have a quick look at the Golden Ball. Here we go then. So I'm scrolling up now to get to present day. And of course, we're going to see, where are we? Lionel Messi there, of course. So we start off with a Mbappe, Bellingham alternating. Bernardo Silva, Mbappe, Yamal, Mbappe, Bukayo Saka, Benny Sesko at Liverpool. Nice to see. Lamine Yamal again. Ryan Davis, English. Jorge Mendes for Man United, a Mexican. Juan Daughter. Is that his name? That sounds like the answer to the question. Have you got any kids? One daughter. I'm here all week. Mexico beating USA in the Ballon d'Or race. Jorge Mendes with his first Ballon d'Or, beating Dan Cohen in second place. And, well, lots happening. As we Robert Johnson, the most American name I've probably ever heard. Robert Johnson. That was my impression at an American accent, and I think it was really bad. So apologies to any Americans watching. But if you thought it was all right, then I'll take it. Robert Johnson for Olympic Lyon. Weirdly. And he's got another, old Robbie Johnson, 33 years old as well. Big Bob Johnson with his second Ballon d'Or. I don't know why I'm just trying to do an American accent. It was awful the first time, and I've gone back in again. Robert Nieja, Spanish. Robert Johnson, third there in the Ballon d'Or, 34 years old. Prince Akumu from Marseille. Loads of players winning in the 30s. Fernando Lopez, Mexican, third place there. No prizes for second and third, though. Look at this Alisson for PSG. He's won it. Oh, God, he keeps winning it. Is that 2-1 to America? I think it is. 2-1 to America. About the only thing they are winning, Ballon d'Ors. Let's go to 20-23 then, and see if Canada can get on the scoreboard in any capacity, and if USA can come back in any capacity. Before we do that, though, let's quickly look at the world rankings. So Mexico are the top ranked team in the world. United States are second. Canada are down in 20th. So that doesn't bode well, does it? Does not bode well at all. So let's have a look at the shortlist then. And the best player in the world is Mexican. It's Eduardo Vega. 10 goals and 143 caps. He's a left back. Second best player is Patagoose for Atletico Madrid striker. He is pretty good, 33 years young. Jose Juan Cruz at 191. So this is just the potential. What's happened here? How we organised them? Potential ability. David Brooks has got the best potential ability in the game at 199. He's at 182 striker. He'll make it. 17 more attribute points. He's only 23 years old. £90 million from Damac. They signed him for 8.25 million from Querétaro, where he went there for free from Toronto FC Academy. So this is the problem, really. He's gone for free to Mexico, and they've sold him for 8.25 million, when in actual fact he should have been worth hundreds of millions of pounds. Brian Durantes at the Crew Academy at 17 years old. He's at 197. Let's look at. Sorry, that's the potential ability. Let's look at the current ability of players. Patrick Knight, Portuguese. Eduardo Vega, Juan Cruz, Jose Antonio Covarrubias, Dave Lawson. Yes, we've got quite a few Americans and Mexicans up here, and then we've got David Brooks, of course, as we've just established. Mexico, USA. So we're getting one Canadian every now and again. Is Dan Soriano. Again, he's a good player. Current ability 174, potential ability 194. He's at 25. He's 25 years old. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. And that's just disappointing. Like, you've got a player that's got 193 potential. He's not even going to make it. And you've got all these other players from Mexico and USA who are just going to make it. Now, the world rankings, we're all over the place in this one, ladies and gentlemen, but the world rankings are showing that Canada are actually in 6th. So we'll have a look at the national team. And yeah, they've got a few decent players. In terms of current ability. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. 6th in the world, no less. Mexico, currently 2nd in the world, which I think is very impressive. You've got players in the 190s and loads in the 180s and 170s. But the best team in the world is currently the United States of America, which it bodes well, which means I'm hoping that we're going to have some good wins for America as well as hopefully some for Canada. Yeah, good squad there, a good squad. So let's go quickly. Let's just get the Champions League out of the way. Right, so we're going to go back 50 years, and it was 2072, wasn't it? So yeah, Monterrey, you're beating Chivas, right? Okay, so we'll squit through now. It's just all Mexican teams here. Are they Mexican? They look it. They are. Leon, also Mexican. Has anyone won it? LA Galaxy in 2097. So I've not given it the most attention, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's just 3 for America, 96 for Mexico, and none for Canada. The Champions Cup is well and truly done with. We'll check in at the end, but Mexico have taken the Champions League. So let's go to the Copa America, shall we? Where last time it was 4-0 to Mexico. Straight away, bouncing back the USA in 2076, and they get 2 on the spin, and then they finish runner-up the tournament after that. So all of a sudden now we're back at 4-2, 4-3. It's USA again beating Brazil in the final. Then Mexico making it 5, beating USA. Then USA coming back, getting one over on Brazil. And again, then Mexico, then USA, now Canada. So at the end of 2020, the end of 100 years, Canada are off the mark with 1 Copa America, which is lovely to see. Canada are on the board. I mean, it's a bit patronising, but hey, go on, Canada. Mexico and USA, it's 6 apiece in Copa Americas. He's finally poised, which is great, because the Champions League's a whitewash. I'm really pleased at the fact that they've drawn level. Mexico were 4-0 up as well. So this last 50 years, it was all about America. 6 World Cups then, 1-0 to Mexico. And there you go, beating Argentina in 2058, as we saw. But in 2078, well, it's all about USA. They are beating Spain in the final, 1-1. I think it's a bit of a hard push for Canada. Oh, as I'm talking, Mexico and then USA the following tournament, that's 2-2. 2 for Mexico, 2 for USA, 0 for Canada. So at the end of 100 years, internationally, USA and Mexico are identical. Domestically, Mexico have just got it all sewn up. Now, is that because of the draft system in America, or like the salary cap and all that caper? I don't know. There is jiggery pokery, and there's so much stuff that goes on with the American League that I just simply don't understand, because they've got such a different system to the way the rest of the world deals with transfers and all that caper. So yeah, domestically I think we're at a loss here, but we still got the Ballon d'Ors to go, where it was it 2-1 to America? So yeah, in 2070, 71, 72 it was, but then Omar Zamudio wins it. Real Madrid's Omar Zamudio, Mexican, making it 2 apiece. Oh, and another one, Luigi Vences. Is that him again? Luigi Vences? He won it. Did he win it back in? Why do we already know that name? Why do we already know Luigi Venture's name? He's only 29. Has there been another one? Oh no, I know why we know his name. Because at 2073 we looked in on the squad, didn't we? He was one of the best players. He was one of the best players in the world, wasn't he? Yeah, he was one of the best players in the world when we were last here. Sorry, that's why. Right. That's 3-2 to Mexico, is it? I'm just going to squip through now, and I'll tally the scoreboard up at the end of the Ballon d'Ors, because I'm not going to tick one up every single time. But there we go. Nate Brand for Liverpool. Let me make a note of that. I'm just going to write it down as we're going. Oh, Canada off the mark. Ian McCoy, the flame grilled steak. The Ridge Crisps. Yeah. I think that's a very British reference. I don't know if anyone else will know what McCoys are if they're in a different country. Maybe they do. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Nate Brand, another one for America. And again, it's Chris Tapp. Adam Engström, Sweden. I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of Sweden. And again, Josh Wilson, Real Madrid's Josh Wilson, another American. Patagoose. We've seen Patagoose. Why do you just go and Patagoose? Because he might bite you. That's why you don't Patagoose. Oh, Patagoose has just had a 3 on the spin. And again, for Atletico Madrid, he moved. Oh my God, Patagoose. He moved from Liverpool to Atletico Madrid. He's there at Atletico Madrid now. He moved for £172 million. Liverpool paid $79 million from Quettararo. Who interrupted the goose? Jasper Ziedler, who were washing his face. Oh, Jose Antonio Covarrubias, Mexican, 22. We've seen Covarrubias. He beat Patagoose. Jose Juan Cruz as well for Liverpool. Covarrubias again. And Covarrubias again. The current Ballon d'Or winner, 3 in the last 5 years. And if my calculations are correct, and they most certainly might not be, they could be very incorrect. But I believe at this juncture, it is 10 for America, 7 for Mexico, and 1 for Canada. So we've got 1 Ballon d'Or winner and 1 Copa America for Canada. I feel like I'm desperate for Canada to win a World Cup, and I'd like them to get at least 1 Champions League. That would feel like a success for Canada. The Champions League's all Mexico, but I think the Ballon d'Or is finely poised, only 3 ahead for USA, and as we've just seen, Mexico have just hit 4 in the last 5 years. And Patagoose won 4 out of 5 as well. So in the last 10, 12 years, we've had a lot of score being added on. So maybe when we come back in just another 100 plus years time, however far we've gone, the Ballon d'Ors will be quite a close-knit thing. Internationally, it's all between USA and Mexico. So without further ado, let's go through to the end where it's at least 22-23. But where we are, I don't know. I just leave it simming and just close it down at a certain point when we've surpassed that date. Well, it's 22:49, and as you can see here, the game status 1 day, 15 hours and 45 minutes it's taken to do this simulation, and it's taking about that to bloody load it. Can you believe this? It's not even loading. Come on. There we go. That took a while. That's me sat still for a few minutes. I'll edit all that out for you. You don't have to watch that. Don't worry. Straight off the bat then, we're going straight into the shortlist. And look at this. Matthew Jacobs, a 200 potential. He's now at 199. He's 32 years old. I think he's probably got there. £43 million from Colorado. Second place, Matt Jennings. Third, Uruguayan. Oh my God, another American. 2 Mexicans though, Derek Bibiesca and Cesar Vazquez. Will Gordon, a Canadian, another American, Mexican. So we're taking over. And oh my God, we are taking over. The top 3 nations in the world are Canada, Mexico, and then USA. In that order, third to first, reverse order. America first, Mexico second, Canada third. You can see that, and I sort of really badly described that was the order. So there we go. But Belarus in 7th, Brazil down in 10th, Morocco up in 13th. Any nations that we noticed that have sort of not... Germany down in 27th. Former World Cup winners. Anyone else sort of fallen away? And Denmark in 47th. That's a bit... But them to be a bit higher. Belgium in 59th. Bloody hell. They've not got a golden generation anymore, have they? Absolute madness. Okay. The Champions Cup then. North American Champions Cup. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through very quickly. Orlando City, United States. Houston. Hey, Mount Pleasant FC. Jamaican. Right. So what's that? 2049. Well, we haven't had the 2049. So 2048 back. So that's 225 years. We've had, I think, 4 for America. I've not seen a Canadian. And the actual team America have won more North American Champions Leagues. 21. United States of America have won 4. Even Mount Pleasant of Jamaica have won 1. They stick out like a sore thumb because they haven't got a note on. So what we're talking, like 219, 220 for Mexico. I mean, if you give them 4 points for that, they are over 880 points. About 880 points, which means they are within touching distance of making it to 1,000 points for this experiment. Let that sink in. They genuinely could make it with Ballon d'Ors Copa Americas and World Cups. So, yeah. So, last time we were here, Canada had just won the Copa America. And as you remember, the scoreboard's up there, but it's 6-6-1. 6-6-1 then. And straight away, Mexico take the lead. 7-6. 8-6 to Mexico. 9. Oh, well. 10. There you go. 11. 5 in a row. Beating America 4 times in the final. I mean, there's no bonus points, but 5 in a row. That's 11 for Mexico now. USA coming back, getting the courtesy one, so that's 7. 12 for Mexico. 8 for USA. 9, 10. Oh, 11. Canada are back in and amongst it. 21-96. And again, 2 in a row. Could Canada make a last minute charge? America and Canada again. I think it's too little too late. Mexico, USA. USA, Canada, USA, USA, USA. Well, up until around here, it was drawing. Mexico and USA back and forth, and then it's finished 17-14 to USA, and they won the last 3. 2 of them, they beat Mexico in the final. Once Canada in the final, Mexico with 3rd place. So that's Copa Americas, the United States of America. Now for the World Cups. Now, of course, the World Cups, we are currently at 2 apiece. And as mentioned, I really want Canada to win one. But Mexico take the lead. 3, 4, 5. They did this in the Copa Americas. They went on a surge. And here come America now, coming back. It's now 5-4, 5-5, 6-5. Canada have got one. And then USA get another one as well. And another 2. Canada running up again. And USA, Mexico, USA, Mexico. Canada with another couple. A 3. USA, Mexico again. And Mexico again. We're up at present day. Calculating that. Let me just go through and properly count them because I didn't really do that in real time. That's finished 13 for USA, 8 for Mexico, and 4 for Canada, which I think is fantastic, really. Canada getting 4 World Cups and 5 Copa Americas in this experiment. You got to say they've done really well there. They've done really, really well. Of course, with the Champions Leagues, there's no doubt in my mind that Mexico have overall won this one. Internationally, United States have won it, but in terms of Ballon d'Ors, where's that going to end up? We were last year when Covarrubias won like the 3rd and 4th teams. He's won it again. And going for America, Stephen Akern for Atletico Madrid. Oh, Canadian, David Brooks. Another American, David Epler for Al Nassr, 30 years old. Marco Babic, another Canadian. Luis Medel, a Mexican. Marco Babic again. And Daniel Ruiz Esparza. And as you can see, he's won 3 in a row. And he won again, another 2 in a row. And beaten by Edgar Valadares, who was also his teammate internationally, another Mexican. Yeah, he's done it again. Daniel Thompson, another 34-year-old at Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia. And look at this, Canada, Mexico and America making up the top 3. John Pascal Vidal, who missed out in 3rd the season before, actually goes on and wins it. Victor Stephens, Min Hyuk Song, who, forgive me, I feel like his second nationality is at least Korean. David Guerrero, an American. Very Mexican name. Ignacio Duran. David Guerrero, another couple. Brian Cools. David Guerrero again. Roberto Carlos Erazo, another American. Again, sounds very Mexican to me. Issa Hills, Atletico Madrid. Roberto Carlos Erazo, another American. America just clean up it. Issa Hills again. He's got 3 in a row. Another. And again. Jesus Miranda, 29. Ricardo Cruz, Canadian in the 2nd. And Issa Hills, 3rd. Mexico again. Oh, God, he's got 3 in a row. He's Jesus Miranda. A 1-2 for America. Eli Dickinson. Guillermo Martinez, a Mexican. Phil Eyre, an American. He won back-to-back. And he's won it again. A top 3 of America, Mexico, America. And then it's America, America, Mexico. But Phil Eyre is just winning 4 in a row. And he won 2 before Manuel Molina. So he's won 6 out of 7. Nicholas Baldwin, American. Pedro Valenzuela, another American. And again, he's ripping it up as Valenzuela. Again, 33 years old at Man City. Still winning the Ballon d'Or. Mexico again. John Robson, Celtic, 3 in a row. Luis Ortega. John Robson with another 5 in a row for John Robson. Can you believe that? Chris Nixon from Man United, Canadian. And the top 3 is all Canadian, which is actually worth 1,200 bonus points, which means Canada have won this experiment. No, they haven't. It's nice to see, though, top 3. All 3 Canadian strikers as well. I think that's interesting, isn't it? 29, 30 and 31, respectively. United, PSG and City as well. Top of the game. He's won again, Chris Nixon, and then America again. Matt Jennings has won the most recent one. So overall, that's 8 Ballon d'Ors for Canada, 25 for Mexico, and 50 for America. So it's very cut and dry. I don't need the scoring system today, do we? Because it's so cut and dry that Mexico, if you encompass everything, Mexico have won, haven't they? Have Mexico eclipsed 1,000 points? That's the question. So 4 for the Champions Leagues. And it was either 219 or 220. We'll say 219, so that's 876. 50 points for Ballon d'Or, so that's 926. Copa Americas, they got 14 times 3, 42. What did I just say we won? 926. So 968, and then 8 World Cups at 5 points apiece. That's 1,008 points. So Mexico have actually have got over 1,000 points, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fair play to them. Over 1,000 points. It's a shame it wasn't closer. I mean, internationally it was very close. I think internationally it was quite entertaining. It was. I quite enjoyed that, but I feel like it was just always such a disparity. There's always the edge was taken off because we were sort of changing the rules halfway through, separating domestic and international football, because we don't do that. We don't like to do that here. We like to encompass everything and all the trophies into one consolidated score. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll be back doing more of these in the future. Let me know in the comments if you've got any nations specifically that you want. But usually we do try and keep it one in the same continent because otherwise it's too difficult to gauge. I can't compare winning the Euros to winning the Copa America. And then the club teams like Conference League, Europa Leagues, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So keep it in the same continent. And I'm not going to do something like Italy versus San Marino because it's obvious that San Marino would win because I would enforce it by making sure Italy were terrible. But no, joking aside, they need to be a similar sort of level in terms of their nation's ability. But other than that, take good care of yourselves, gang. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Please stay on the channel and watch this, which is the best for viewer according to the YouTube algorithm. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.